Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to my podcast, which is titled Mark Sharp's Multifamily Mixtape. What started out as a thought has officially become reality. This is real. I actually have a podcast. It's crazy. Never thought this was something that I would want to do, but I don't know. It's been sitting in my head for a little while, and I just kind of talked to a lot of people about it to get their perspectives on, if this were something I were to do, would you want to listen? Would you want to listen to me? And I got enough positive feedback, and well, here we are. But on my first episode, I would like to discuss two things. Number one, how I got into the multifamily industry. And number two, why I stay in the multifamily industry. So, how I got into it. It was actually by accident, if I'm being quite honest. And I didn't even hear about the position. I did not seek out this position. One of my brothers, actually went to an interview for a leasing position, and he just decided that it wasn't for him, but he called me and he said, "Hey, there's a position open. It's not going to work out for me, but I thought of you. I think you should call him." And so I did. I made a phone call, and next thing you know, I was hired on as a part-time leasing consultant for a new construction build-up in Greer, South Carolina. And I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I've always enjoyed sales. I've always been personable. I've always been able to talk to people and have conversations. So, helping people find a new home, going through the leasing process, learning all things. Well, I say all things, but learning as much as I could about that process, and then kind of honing in on, your own sort of way of doing it was fun. It was interesting, and it was part-time. I never thought that 24 years ago that a part-time leasing consultant position would prepare me for where I am today. So 24 years in the industry, and like a lot of people, I have worn a lot of hats. I worked as the part-time leasing consultant for a little while, and then a position came open for a one-person office, or a property that only had a one staff office, one office staff in Concord, North Carolina. So I jumped at the chance to move, to take that, to progress, to grow. And so, one day was a part-time leasing consultant. The next day was a full-time business manager for an apartment community in Concord. And again, learning as much as I could about what it took to become a business manager, but still do leasing. The leasing part was the easy part because I knew it. I knew how to welcome people. I knew how to fill out guest cards and show apartments and ask for the deposit, what they, all of them, all the training manuals and training videos and, what do they call them? The mystery shops and all that stuff that you have to go through. You fail if you do not ask for the deposit. You do not fail if you don't try to get those things. So I became really good at asking for the deposit. Hey, I can hold this for you today. Give me your money. Let's go. Let's get moved in. And so the leasing part of it was fun. I did enjoy it, but the business manager part of it kind of opened my eyes to a new side of the industry: rent collection. Evictions, complaints, really. And I'm sure there's more. But just bear with me. I'm only going off of my memory here about the things that just impacted me the most. And as that nice leasing professional, smiling, welcoming people as they come in, once I became business manager and realized that I had to deal with not just getting people in the doors or not just helping people find new homes and being happy and happy-go-lucky about it, it was, kind of brought me down to earth a little bit, because now it became a job. And not that being part-time leasing wasn't a job, but it felt the weight of the management side of things more so than I did on the leasing side. Because now you had rent collection, you had notices to send out for people who were late. You had to deal and listen to the stories. Y'all know the stories. Well, some of you might know the stories, but it weighed on me. And I just decided pretty quickly that was not where I wanted to stay. I did not like that part of the business. So I became really good friends with our maintenance supervisor at this property. His name was Bob Mills. He was an excellent man. And he had lost his maintenance technician. And so I told my supervisor at the time that I wanted to get out of the office. I said, I can't do this. I'd rather learn how to fix stuff. So was an office manager, business manager one day. Very next day was a maintenance technician. Bob took me under his wing and he taught me everything he knew. And thankfully for me, he was one of those supervisors that knew how to do things the right way. And he taught me how to do things the right way. He was very clear that he did not know everything. He was just very candid with me and telling me how a lot of people try to put on that they know and can do anything and everything. He just kind of instilled a lot of life lessons in me, really. Just about never to be that person. Always be learning. It's what my current employer, Mario Brown, says. It's one of his favorite sayings. It's always be learning. And, that was instilled in me very early on in my career in multifamily. So I am a new leasing. I'm a new maintenance technician. I have zero tools. None. I think I went out to like a Hobby Lobby or an Ace Hardware or one of those places and bought one of those little, hard plastic cases that you open up, and it has a couple screwdrivers and a ratchet set and some adjustable pliers, some linesman pliers, maybe some really cheap needle nose, and then one of those multi-screwdrivers that has the tips that you can magnetically pop in and out, and it had, 10, 15 or so little heads in it. That was my first toolkit. And I learned very quickly that my hands would not be able to tolerate those tools for very long, because they tore my hands apart. Constantly using those tools, they weren't built very well, and my hands just got ripped apart, and it was fun. I learned very quickly to invest in good tools. So that was the first lesson I learned from Bob. He laughed. He laughed at me when I walked in with my toolkit. I was so proud of it though. I said, Bob, look what I got. And I had a little toolbox and everything. It was great. I took it out of the hard case, because I wanted to be cool. I wanted to have a toolbox. Oh man, that was funny. Jeez, that was a good laugh. I really appreciate that trip down memory lane there. That was fun. So anyway, Bob takes me under his wing and he teaches me everything he knows. And what he doesn't know, we learn together. And that really helped me. I think it really helped set me up for my future. Working with Bob Mills, learning everything that I could from Bob Mills, and then getting to other properties in the future and realizing that Bob had taught me to do something one way. But when I get to a property, a different property years later, and I see somebody doing something and I see him doing it a certain way, and I say, why are you doing it that way? And the response is, well, that's how I learned. And I said, interesting. What about if you did it this way? And, sometimes you see that look of, oh, well, I never thought about that. And it became clearer to me how much I had learned from Bob Mills. He really did teach me the best way to get a lot of things done, the best way, the easiest way to make a lot of repairs, to tear things apart, to put things back together. I cannot thank him enough for the amount of himself, his knowledge that he just poured into me, into making sure that I had a good, stable ground with my maintenance career for the future. That man was amazing. And as I progressed through my career, became maintenance technician with Bob, became a supervisor years later, became a regional supervisor years later. And, I did leave the maintenance industry for a little while. I got into sales and eventually, worked my way or found my way back into the direct side. And I just love maintenance. I really do. I love maintenance. But one of the best things that I like about maintenance is the ability to teach, the ability to pass on what I've learned. And because while some people may not know different, like, the gentleman that I described earlier, he only learned how to do something because someone else taught him a specific way. And it's not that my way was better. And I want to be very clear. I do not know it all. I do not know everything. I do not know it all. I make a lot of mistakes. But what I did know, I knew very well. And I always studied how to become better. I always wanted to learn how to become better because I did. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be the best at what I did. So I took just the thought of Bob and how he took me under his wing, taught me everything he knew. So I wanted to do that for other people. So I wanted to be a teaching supervisor. Of course, you still have to work, you still have to do things, but I wanted to teach as much as possible. So with the help of a property manager, a dear friend of mine who believed in me and gave me a shot, Cinnamon McCauley, thank you so much. You have no idea how much confidence you've instilled in me and how it's continued to push me in my career. You are amazing. So thank you for that, by the way. Cinnamon McCauley believed in me, and she saw something that I didn't see. And she really pushed me to become involved in our local apartment association. And over the years of being involved in the apartment association and being involved in the maintenance appreciation committee, I have helped create something for the maintenance department that is unbelievable. From starting off on, a committee that had, 5 or 6 people on it. And, all we really did was drive around and, pass out gift cards for maintenance guys. It's like, hey, you're doing a great job. Here's a $20 Lowe's gift card, or, hey, we're throwing a pizza party. Come out and join us. But, while yes, we were appreciating the maintenance that was in our industry, but I wanted to do more. I wanted to, again, I'm, channeling channeling Bob, and I wanted to create something that was different, that was unique. I wanted to create educational opportunities, and I wanted to push for maintenance involvement. Because when you go to apartment association events, it's, management and leasing days on end. They're everywhere. But there were never any maintenance guys, never. So I said, we need to change this. What can I do to get more maintenance guys involved? And so I had to create something that would make them want to attend. And maybe not them to attend, but I wanted to create something that their managers would want them to attend. And then they would come and realize like, oh, wow, this is something special. I want to keep coming. And so 10, 15 years later, our maintenance department, our maintenance appreciation committee is, 25, 26 committee members deep. And, we are packing educational sessions to the brink. We're selling out of educational opportunities because not just me, this is not like a pat on my back, but it is a pat on the back of the association that allowed us to do these things. But it took someone pushing me to tell me that I had a gift and I needed to use it. And I am very thankful for that. And so I just continuously want to give back to our industry because of all of the individuals who pushed me, who believed in me and just pushed me in the right direction, set me up for the right path. And I thank them every day. And I'm currently the vice president of facilities for NOAA Property Management. We manage roughly 1,500 or so homes, affordable homes in the upstate of South Carolina. And to this day, I'm still teaching. I'm still involved in the apartment association, but I'm also involved in teaching my current staff how to be better. One of my favorite sayings is, if you don't have time to do it right, when will you have time to do it again? I do not know where I heard that. I do not know who told me that. I did not come up with that, be very clear. But I heard someone say it at some point in time in my career, and it just stuck with me. And so I continue to push all of my guys to do the right thing. But not just my team, but all teams. Anyone that comes into any of my education classes, I say that quote multiple times, and I make them write it down. I say, hey, write this down, and remember this. If you don't have time to do it right, when will you have time to do it again? So enough about how I got into the industry. Let's now talk about why I stay. And I stay for a lot of reasons, and we'll just go through them here. But I stay, and I have to disclaimer here that what I'm about to say is not based on any sort of research or scientific fact. It's just my personal opinion. But I stay because I feel that this industry is recession-proof. There will always be work in the multifamily industry. People will always live in apartments. The apartment industry is going nowhere. In fact, it's getting larger, which is a great thing. I stay because I want to give back. I was very grateful early in my career to have received a lot of training and great advice, and I want to help give other people that push that I received, which is just another way of saying that I want to be a Bob Mills or a Cinnamon McCauley to other people. If I could help anybody, any one person, find their way in this industry, that would mean the world to me, and that would make me feel like I was accomplishing something. I stay because I want others to know that we aren't greedy landlords. We're just not. Are there greedy landlords out there? Yes, absolutely. There are. But it takes It's the good apartment associations. It's the National Apartment Association, to put a spotlight on the things that we do correctly. There are a lot of things that we do that benefit people, individuals, and we are not the evil person. We're just not. It's not what our industry is about. I stay because I want people to want to choose this industry as a career. I was at an education conference recently, and one of the keynotes stood up, and one of the very first questions she asked was, how many of you in this room chose multifamily like out of college, or you just knew for a fact this is what you wanted to do with your life? And from where I was sitting in the conference center, which was towards the back of the room, I could see 100% of the room. And based off my memory, I do not remember one single person raising their hand that signified that they chose the multifamily industry for their career. And mind you, there were 400-ish people or so at this specific conference. So again, based off my memory, 400 or so people in the room, not one person chose this industry as their career. So one of the things that I want to accomplish with this podcast is try to help turn that 0 out of 400 a little higher. We need to be better about getting out and educating about our industry. We need to get out and be better about what we do. I think we do get some negative publicity in the media, especially with President Biden recently talking about evil landlords and rent control and all of these things and how we're just horrible people. And that's just not true, everyone. It's just not true. We do our best to provide quality, safe housing for all of our residents. Now, again, people are people. They're going to do what they do. There are bad people in the world that can take a good thing and make it bad. But for the majority of us, that is just not true. So I want to use this podcast for a lot of reasons. I want to talk about the multifamily industry, everything about it. I want to talk about maintenance. I want to talk about management. I want to talk legal and legislative. I want to talk about suppliers and partnerships and education. I want to talk about all the things and have guests that come on and help just create this idea that the multifamily industry is a great place to land. And with AI taking over everything, you can lease apartments now 100% online, on-site, or what is the term I'm looking for? I should probably edit this out, but I probably won't, just because I'm still learning the software. But sight unseen, there you go. You can lease sight unseen now because you have chatbots who pop up on your websites and like, hey, how can I help you? And you punch in some stuff, they send you a link. You can remotely log in via special electronic locks. You can do self shows. You can lease. I mean, there's ways that you can just come into contact with nobody during the leasing process. But one thing I want to hit home very clearly here, especially as one of my initiatives with the Apartment Association, is education for maintenance, because AI will never be able to fix your air conditioner. AI will never be able to replace your water heater. AI will not unclog your sink. AI will not fix your roof. There are several things that AI cannot do. While they can take over a lot of sales jobs and those types of things, but our trade, the maintenance trade, is not going anywhere. So we need to be better about getting out and educating people that this is an industry that is good, that can provide a great living for an individual, for their family. And that is one of the things that I definitely want to accomplish with this podcast. So I really, really appreciate you all taking your time or taking the time out of your day to listen to this. I know, This first podcast is more of an introduction into what I want to accomplish. It's probably a little different than some of my future episodes when they come out with guests and we're talking about specific things and bouncing ideas off each other. So this is just me coming to you raw, really, and trying to let you know who I am and what I want to accomplish. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.